everybody, it's Jasmine, and today I wanted to do a sit down video, and I wanted to really film this for you guys because I've been waiting for October to finally roll around in order for me to talk about this subject, because it is Bullying Prevention Month and I have very strong feelings for this subject. This subject in particular formed who I am today because of the hardships that I went through. It made me who I am, so I really wanted to talk about it. And as most of you guys know, if you guys watch any of my old videos, if you know me personally, you guys probably heard me talk about how people always talked mess about me, how I suffer from depression, anxiety, and a lot of suicidal thoughts. I mean, in the past I had very, very severe suicidal thoughts, and I do relapse. I do relapse sometimes, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and that's just how it is. And I really wanted to talk about this because, as most of you guys know, I love to keep my YouTube channel a very positive place. I like keeping all of my social media platforms very positive because I know what it's like to be hurt. I know what it's like to feel like you're the only person getting attacked. And so I wanted to share my story with you guys, and hopefully I can help you guys feel a little bit more encouraged, a little bit more happy at the end of this video, in case you are going through this situation. And I also have some questions that you guys asked me on Instagram that I will be answering as well. So it's been about 11 years since I moved into this house that I am currently living in. I moved here from Martinez, and I was a new kid. I was a new kid in the school, yeah. If any of you guys were a new kid, you guys kind of knew that feeling of anxiety that you get because, one, you don't know the area, two, you don't know anybody, and three, if you're like me, you don't know how to make friends. That still is a quality I'm currently working on, but that's besides the point. So I remember it was 4th grade, walking to class, my uncle's taking me to school, whatever. And I'm out here like trying to make friends, trying to be as positive as I can be, and you know what? I did make friends. I really did, and it was probably something I really did not imagine me doing, because being in this whole new environment, I, one, didn't really like the area I lived in, two, I was just so antisocial, and three, I don't know, there was just something about me that like didn't fully 100% love about this school in the area, even though I do have to say I live in a nice area. I was just really picky at the time, okay? So 4th grade is going really good, it's going pretty smooth up until the middle of the year. Now, as a new kid, you don't know everybody's name. I for sure had like 4 friends. Okay, and I could name them all for you, but I kind of want to have their privacy in this video. I only knew those 4 people. I remember I was sent to the principal's office, and I'm like, first of all, where is that? And second of all, why am I going here? I go to the principal's office, and they're just like, oh, I heard you were making fun of this girl. And I'm like, who? And they're trying to like name her name. I remember her name, but they were just trying to tell it to me, and I said, I don't know who you're talking about. And they said, yes you do, you're lying to me. And they kept accusing me that I was lying, and I was like, oh my god. So for a whole week I got detention for something I didn't even do, and that still continued on throughout my life. I kept being blamed as the bad guy, the bad kid, and I knew I wasn't a bad kid. So within that week where I got detention, I was talking to my friends, and I said, hey, I really need to know who this person is, because I don't know why she's making me get in trouble, but I shouldn't be in detention. We finally found the girl. I talked to her, and I'm like, hey, you know, I really don't know you, but they said I was making fun of you, and I really don't know what's up. She says, oh no, it's not you. It was another person with a name that starts with a J, and I want to keep their privacy as well. But let's name a random person. Okay, I didn't go to school with a Jason, so let's call him Jason. So she said, no, it was Jason. Excuse me? it just infuriated me so much. I told my teacher and I said, hey, you know, I talked to her and, you know, I just wanted to let you know that I didn't do it. The best thing that I got out of that was 1 day off of detention. And that kid didn't even get in trouble. Didn't even say sorry to me. The teachers hated me. I don't know. And after that, there were so many other incidences. If you watch my videos when I started my channel, I have one of my very first storytime videos where I think I said soda ruined my 6th grade. And this follows up, or 5th grade. Is it 5th or 6th grade? I don't know. I think I remember it to be 5th grade. But anyway, that's besides the point. I was still in elementary school. It was the day before winter break. And we were having a party, like a little potluck. So I was like with this guy and I was with my friends and I was like, oh, you know, I hope you have a really good winter break, all this stuff. And then I went to like go give him a hug because like, I don't know if you guys know me, but like I love giving people hugs. I'm a total hugger. I love, like, I don't know, just I love that. And so I went to go give him a hug and I guess he got really mad at me and he really did not want the hug. He really didn't want it. So when I was walking to the library, because my school is walking distance from the public library, he comes behind me and takes like a 2-liter bottle of soda and like dumps it on me, like head on, dumps it on me. My 2 best friends at the time, they like stared at him and they ran after him. Meanwhile, I'm like there soaking up the soda, like, yeah, like, I hate my life. And they just went to go pretty much like beat his ass for me. And I just remember just being so upset. And I was immediately, mind you, this is after school, I was immediately sent to the principal's office. And you know what they said? They said, why'd you start this? Or like something like why'd you punch him? Punch him? Excuse me, but what they were referring to was me pushing his hand away because he was pouring soda on my head. That's what they were referring to. So not only did I sit in this puddle of soda, but I got detention. And this guy who poured soda on me didn't get in trouble. He got away with it. All because I punched this dude. And there are more stories like that in elementary school where I was just put as the bad guy and it was just so annoying. It was so annoying to deal with. I remember there was this kid in the playground and I was just playing around with my friends, whatever, and then he would like come up to me and like push me to the ground, and then whenever I tried to get up he would push me back down, and it was just a recurring thing. So it got to the point where I just sat on the ground like this. The bell rang, waited for everybody to leave. He didn't want to leave, and then I like sprinted to the bathroom. I was running to the bathroom and I stayed there. I was late to class. And he was waiting outside the bathroom for me. I don't know what he was up to. I don't know if he was trying to beat me up, but he was just waiting for me. And it got to the point where I finally went to class and I was like, hey, you know, this kid is like kind of, you know, bullying me. And I just remember my teacher like actually getting him in trouble, and it kind of felt relieving because I thought, oh my god, finally I'm free. But also kind of scary because it's like, okay, what if he actually gets mad at me and then after school he like beats me up? There were other times where I got detention in elementary school, but I want to kind of talk about and transition into something I feel that's a little bit more of like a life-changing type of situation. And it's a time in high school where I feel like this really affected me. So by the time I was in high school, it was what, 2012, I was 14, 2011 to 2012, I was 14, I was a freshman. And I just remember, like, you know, iPhones were just becoming like the new thing, like almost everybody was having it. It was like the iPhone 4, hello. And I just remember like I had my little iPod, like the iPod 4th generation. So it had cameras on it, like the front facing camera, and I also had a flip phone because I wasn't allowed to have an iPhone yet. And I remember everybody having an Instagram and, you know, just having a social media was cool. Like having a Facebook was cool. But little did I know, and I feel like I really didn't expect it because I was naive, that people were gonna be rude to me. I don't know why people love to pick on me. I really don't know why. I just remember just having all these hate messages on Facebook and on Instagram, and I just made a Twitter too. It was a really tough time because I was getting messages like, oh, like I heard you did such and such with this guy, you're such a hoe, and telling me like I was just really ugly and that I should die and life would be way better without me. And I got to the point where I was really defensive. I was really defensive about myself, and I really did not want people to know that I was hurting, and I didn't want people to be worried about me, so I didn't tell anybody. It was my battle, and I felt like this is something I have to overcome, and I felt like, you know, if I can overcome this, I can overcome anything. But also, at the same time, like I said, I was really suicidal. And I've been suicidal since 5th grade. I remember the first time I had my first suicidal thoughts, and it wasn't fun. It's still not fun. I remember when I first wanted to end my life, I just thought, you know, there are so many people at school bullying me. You know, now that I was in high school, I thought, okay, well, maybe this is just another bump in the road. Maybe this is just something horrible coming my way, and I just need to overcome it. You know, like I just gotta grow some balls and get over it, right? And I don't want this to be like shady or like disrespectful to my family, but I wasn't having the best relationship with my family, and I think that's normal at this age. You know, at the age where like you're just a teen, you're kind of rebellious, you're just probably not getting along with your parents as well. That's exactly what was happening to me at the time. Plus, my friends who I've been friends with since elementary school just decided, you know, they didn't want to be my friend anymore. I was in a toxic relationship. I was in an abusive relationship at that. And just everything was going wrong in my life. I felt like I wasn't happy. Every day I would come to school crying because of the words that people kept telling me. Like I wasn't enough, like you're hella weird. People kept telling me, oh, you know, the first impression I always have of you is that you're weird. And for like the past like 8 years of my life, everybody has said that to me, that was their first impression of myself. So what? Now I was like this weird kid who comes to school crying every day? Okay, well that's cool, right? But then again, I never told anybody that I was hurting. I never told anybody how I was feeling, and I never told anybody what was happening to me behind the scenes. I didn't tell people about the abusive relationship because at the time, he was my first really long relationship, and I didn't know better. So how was I supposed to know? And then my friends left. They didn't want to associate with me. So who was I supposed to talk to? I didn't have friends. I broke up with my boyfriend eventually. I was alone. I didn't have a great relationship with my parents. So I ran away from home. Now you're probably thinking like, where could you have gone? And honestly, I really had no idea where I was going. So I went to a hiking trail near my house that had a lot of trees, and I just hid there all day. I just went early in the morning to late at night, and I just wanted to be alone. I didn't want to talk to anybody, but the police found me, and I was forced to go to therapy because they threatened me that if I didn't go to therapy, they were going to send me to a mental hospital. So think about it this way. People are telling you so-and-so in your ear, you're not having good relationships with anybody, and then you're being threatened that you're crazy and that you need to go to therapy because there's nothing better for you. And then on top of that, you're having suicidal thoughts and you're also really depressed. So I finally went to therapy when I was a sophomore in high school, and it was good. It was good. I met a lot of people. It was a group therapy. I felt like although I was talking a lot about how I was feeling, I could never open up about how I truly felt, about how other people's words truly affected me. As therapy went on, I decided I needed to get out the house because I had no life. I was always forced to stay at home. When I asked my parents if I could go over to somebody's houses, they would always say no. So I couldn't see anybody, I couldn't talk to anybody, and I more or less just felt like I was confined in this space. I felt alone. I felt just trapped. So I decided I need to do something extracurricular, so I decided to join sports. From sophomore year up until senior year, I played 3 sports total. I played badminton, tennis, and swim. And although I hated it, although I really just didn't love it, it was something that helped me get out the house. And even though a lot of people in those sports hated me, I still managed to feel a little bit better about myself. And I think that's what a lot of people don't really understand. I think that's what a lot of people don't really know. No matter where I went in school, whether it was to class or if I got to school early or if I did sports, there was just so much hatred towards me, and I don't know why. And as most of you guys know, my best friend Michaela, we talk about this openly a lot because whenever I have issues that arise, I feel like my mindset goes straight to high school. It goes straight to how I felt about being alone, how I felt like I had no friends, how I felt like everybody was judging me. Even when I started my YouTube channel, I was in junior year. I was still really sad, you know, and I am glad to say that YouTube is my outlet. I'm glad to say that throughout all these years, I have grown so much, and I am definitely not the person who I was when I started this channel. Ew, like, oh. I really didn't want to cry, but this is a subject that I feel like needs to be talked about, so I'm going to continue talking about it. I'm not the person who I was when I started this channel, and it's because I was surrounding myself with more positivity because of you guys. I know that seems really, really cliche, and I know every single YouTuber says that, but YouTube was truly my outlet. Whenever I was sad, I would come home from school, turn on the camera, forget about literally everything, and I do that till this day. I would have stressful days at school. I would sometimes need to be studying for like tests and finals and everything, but I would be so stressed out to the point where all I want to do is just film and forget about it for like 30 minutes. That's it. That's all I need. And I'm so happy that this is what I like to do, and it's what helped me grow as an individual. And even being on YouTube is hard. You're so open to criticism, and I know that. I knew that from the start. My parents told me, everybody told me. But you know, at the end of the day, and like I said in one of my past videos, at the end of the day, you come home to yourself and you define yourself. With YouTube, it just helped me be myself again. It helped me connect with myself again because it really is me and the camera. That's it. And I felt like I was in a judge-free space. And after my birthday, after my 18th birthday, I got my car. And I think that is something else that really helped me out, because I was able to leave the house. After 18 years of being confined in this house, I felt like I had some type of liberty and some type of freedom, and I just felt good. And so that has also been a way for me to cope with a lot of the bullying that was happening in my life. So before I continue on, I really want to read your guys' questions, because I feel like it's very important to help you guys out as well. So I got a lot of questions on how do I rebuild my confidence, or how do you guys rebuild your confidence, and everybody is very personal. So like I mentioned, I started to go out more, I started to drive more, I started to do extracurricular things, and that kind of slowly helped me grow. Again, YouTube also really helped me grow, and it was something unintentional. I didn't just say like, oh, I'm gonna do YouTube to help myself. It was something that I just started doing randomly. Like right when I got my iPhone 6, I was like, oh, I'm gonna start doing it. Like I'm just gonna see how it does. And you know, for some time, not a lot of people were watching my videos, and views didn't matter, numbers didn't matter. It just mattered like, do I like it? Is this fun? Is this a new hobby? And I just loved it for that and that alone, and I still love it for that reason. As of recently, as most of you guys know, I filmed a whole video where I talked about all my favorite self-help books. That, as of recently, that has genuinely helped rebuild my confidence. It helped me get back on my feet, and it helped me feel like I'm not the only one. It just was such a refreshing feeling to be more educated about my feelings and just doing and reading things for fun. It felt amazing to do that again. And so if you have any type of hobbies that you really like doing, whether it's drawing, singing, reading, dancing, whatever the situation is, start that. Start doing that. If you like doing your makeup, start doing it more. You don't have to publicize anything you don't want to. If your focus is working on yourself, then do it for yourself. Don't do it for other people. Although words can hurt, and although words do kill in my opinion, it's always important to put yourself first. So just remember that, and do things that you love. And if you're not in any access to do things that you love, try new hobbies, try new things. Have you tried cooking? Do you like it? You never know, just try. How do you deal with racism? Pretty sure we've all been through it. And yeah, I do agree on that. We probably all have. And I talked a little bit about this in my life as a Cambodian American video. I don't really deal with it very well, but I am not going to be the type of person that gives another racist remark back towards it, because I believe that on the internet and in person, whenever you have a conflict with somebody, or if you have an opinion that you just completely disagree with, or like a thought that you completely disagree with, you're always quick to snap. You're always quick to prove somebody wrong. You always want to be right. And I just think that sometimes people just need to be educated, and we just need to understand each other. So if somebody was to say like, you probably ate a dog this morning to my face, I'd probably just be like, you know what? No, I didn't. I actually had so-and-so. And although that is kind of like a sassy remark, it's also kind of just like putting them in their place, like stop stereotyping, one, and two. My camera died, so I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. But pretty much moral of the story, don't add fuel to the fire. It's okay to express your opinions as long as they're not hurtful, or as long as they're not, you know, being rude. I think that's fine. So here's another question. Some students/teens are scared to report to the school about being bullied. What's your opinion? I was exactly like this. I did not want to tell anybody about what I was going through, and I really did not want to tell the school staff what I was going through, because they're gonna put the other person on blast. Like, they were gonna be like, oh, you know what, so-and-so told me you were doing so-and-so, and I'm just gonna be like, oh my god. If you're too scared to tell your parents or your friends about it, but you're really close to, say, like your friend's parents, or if you have an older sibling, they can report it for you. You don't have to do it yourself. Your friends can do it for you. And you can kind of be, I guess, chill about it. Just be like, hey, you know, I just wanted to say I'm going through this. You can even talk to your school counselor. They're probably more confidential than the vice principal or the principal of the school. And you could just always talk to them, talk to teachers if you're really close with them. I know I was close to a lot of teachers. You can always just say, you know, I really don't want this to be a big deal. I just want to talk about it. Maybe you can help, give me advice. And I'm sure they'll give you a lot of advice. There is plenty of help, especially in high school, middle school, elementary school. There's a lot of help out there for you. And so if you have this need to really tell somebody about how much you're hurting or how much something is really affecting you, you have the right to tell people that you need help. You know, there are so many people out here to help protect you instead of hurting you, and I know that's hard, especially if you are the one being bullied. You think that everybody's against you, and trust me, I know the feeling about having everybody feel like everybody hates you, everybody wants you to die, everybody just wants you to just feel so shitty about yourself. I understand that feeling. I get it 100%. Okay? And just know that there are people to help. If you're not ready to open up yet, it's fine. Wait until you're ready. What experiences did you have with bullying in your past, and how did you feel it shaped you as a person that you are today? So I already told you guys the whole bullying story, but I didn't tell you a lot of other things because I feel like it's kind of personal and I don't really want to get into it. But I do have to say that it shaped me as the person who I am today because I am a lot more independent on myself. I don't have that 24/7 guard that I have up, like that defensive guard, and I don't feel like I snap back at people very often. And I know that might seem as a shock to some people, but when you get bullied so often and so frequently, you kind of build up this wall and you don't want anybody to break through it. So you keep lashing out at people and you just say like, no, like you can't say that. And you try, I know this sounds really bad, but you try and give people the taste of their own medicine. I guess in the time if someone were to say something mean to me, I'd say something right back at them. Like I'd just be like, no filter, no nothing, you get it. And I think that that is something normal with people. People just create this defense mechanism because they've just been torn down so much that you don't want to be torn down anymore and you want somebody else to feel the pain that you felt. And although that's really, really, I kind of regret it, but you know, now I know better and now I don't do that. And I think that I'm also a little bit more independent on myself and independent on my choice of words. And also I am a lot more open-minded about a lot of things. You know, I get tons and tons of comments and I closely monitor every single comment. As most of you guys know, I've commented back to every single comment on my YouTube channel up until this day. And I do monitor the negativity, the positivity, opinions, whatever it is. But when it gets to the point where opinions are not opinions, but they're hate, I now know I have the power to run my social media how I want to. If I don't like if somebody is calling me ugly, I could just block them. If somebody is just calling me like really horrible names, block. It's fine. I'm able to almost understand both sides of the situation. Sometimes though, for really negative people, I really don't understand why they're so toxic, but I can understand like how people are hurt and you know, the changes that can come from it and the reason why people are acting the way they do. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of that situation. So I feel like mentally it has helped me be a lot more mature and a lot more independent. I know I said independent like 5 times, but I really feel a lot more independent now. This video is already super long. I want to end it here, and if you have any more questions about bullying, please let me know down below. I'm glad to answer your questions. I know a lot of videos like this, a lot of people like to ask the same type of questions, but if I have any like FAQs, like frequently asked questions. I'll be sure to list it in the description box below, or I'll just continue to comment back. I mean, I always do that. And remember, if you need any help, feel free to DM me, leave me a comment, whatever it is. I'm always glad to help. All right? I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.